there are three kinds of people. People who watch things happen, people who wonder what happened, and people who make things happen. Which are you? You see, if we look at these 5 stages of change, we can actually look into our own lives, look into our own problems, once they're identified, and then begin to change the things that we do not like. We have a choice. So I have to ask you again, which kind of person are you? The kind that watches things happen? The kind who wonder what happened? Or the kind that makes things happen? I want to share with you 5 stages of change, and that if you will walk yourself through these stages of change in any given area of your life, you should be able to hopefully see progress. And I'm going to do this by telling you about our dryer situation at the house. Most of you know that we're in a new house. We are on our 2nd used dryer since we've been in the house. The first set, washer and dryer, we got for $100, which was a good deal, until the dryer quit working. So my Aunt Eileen and Uncle Bob, they bought us another used washer and dryer, and so we replaced that dryer. And before long, that dryer stopped working. And we were totally perplexed by this. Well, come to find out, in the basement of our house, up in the ceiling, there's a fuse box panel that wasn't quite getting the connections. So an electrician came in and he fixed that for us. And the dryer worked again. For a little bit of time. Wearing wet clothes is not fun. It is better than the alternative. In any event, as we walk through these stages of change with the dryer situation, the first stage of change is a reaction stage. And that took place when we went to the dryer, we opened it up, we leaned in, and we touched the clothes, and they weren't dry. We knew we had a problem. So we went on to the next stage, which is the identification stage. We're trying to identify what is causing the problem. My wife remembered watching a QVC program once. You all know what QVC stands for, don't you? Quickly Vanishing Cash. And sure enough, my wife helped them. And she purchased this apparatus, in which the QVC channel said would fix a broken dryer. It's not the tube, but what's inside the tube, because evidently the problem with most dryers that are no longer working could be, other than the heating element, a lint problem. So my wife went into the closet, got out the quick vanishing cash apparatus, and she looked like a domestic Jedi Knight. And so she went after our dryer. She opened up the door, which, if you've not been in our house, the door to the dryer opens about halfway and then hits the toilet. So my lovely wife has the Jedi apparatus, and she's in there trying to clean the vent trap, and you thought this side was funny, you should have seen it, never mind. And so she's going at it, and she's pulling out this huge amount of lint, which actually helps us understand we created the plan to go into the dryer and get out the lint, because that could have been causing the problem. So that's the third stage, the creation, kind of coming up with the plan. And then we, of course, implemented the plan, which is the fourth stage, implementation. So she implemented this beautiful plan. She shut the door, pushed the button, and the dryer started, and it was going. The fifth stage in this whole process is the evaluation stage. And when we opened up the dryer and we evaluated our clothes, they're still wet. So we realized we have a problem, because the dryer is supposed to dry clothes, and that wasn't working. And so we're back at the reaction stage. We recognize we have a problem. So we try to identify the problem again, the identification stage, the second time around. And, oh, wait a minute. Maybe one of our fuses up in that dooflunky that got fixed before is out. Me being the manly man that I am, went down into the basement. I knew to take a flashlight. And I flipped the power off, which I also knew to do. And I unscrewed the fuses, and I looked at them. And being the mechanical guy that I am, knew by looking at these fuses that they were fine. So I screwed them back up in there, decided to go check the dryer just in case. So I go back up to the dryer, and I check the dryer. And the clothes were not dry yet. And so I realize we still have a problem. So we've gone through the reaction stage, there's a problem, the identification stage, trying to figure out what the problem is, the creation stage, coming up together with a plan in which that we can then, of course, the fourth stage, implement, the implementation stage. And now we're back to the evaluation stage, and it is not working. Now I have to admit, as a man, I'm beginning to feel just a little bit like a failure. Because I can't fix the dryer. And so we're back to square one, trying to think what could be causing the problem. So my wife and I spend a lot of time talking about what could be causing the problem. And we can't figure it out. We go to the laundromat like with wet clothes already washed so that we can put them in the laundromat dryer. I've talked to Uncle Marty, my brother-in-law, about trying to switch out the old dryer with the new dryer, see if it was the fuse thing that caused the old dryer not to work. And I assure you, it is not fun. And so, after talking to Michelle, and wait, Lent, I've been outside our house before, and we have like a trap door in the back of the dryer. Yeah, you already know this. News to me. And so we go outside. I remember having seen like a wasp nest up in there once. And so I thought, I wonder what has come up through the winter. And so I go outside. And sure enough, I found this little dew flunky. That's the technical term. Up outside, sticking out of our house where the dryer vent would, of course, be blowing all the hot air and lint. And I don't know whether it was the winter, the moisture, or just dumb luck. But this little lint trappy deal was about 2 inches full of lint. So again, being the manly man I am, took with my bare hands, mind you, took the lint trap that's out on the outside off. And I dig out all of this 2 inches of lint. And I did what any man would do. I threw it on the floor. And I put this back. So we've, again, identified another potential problem, and so we've implemented the creation of the fix, if you will. And so I go in, and I push the dryer button, and it starts. But that's not the test. The test comes to see if the clothes are dry. And so it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and the buzzard goes off. And I reach into the dryer. Shall I heal the dryer? It's fixed! Because by going through all these stages, even having to restart the stages a couple of times, we were able to fix our problem. We were able to inflict positive change, if you will, on our dryer. Now what about you in your life? Not your dryer. But what things are going on in your life that need to be changed? Are there relationships in your life that you know in the back of your mind are causing problems, that they're not working for you, but you're still in them? Maybe you need to take the stages of change and go through that relationship. Maybe some of you are involved in business ventures and business is not so good for you. And you can walk through these stages of change and apply it to your business situation to determine how you can fix the problem that you're faced with.